It's Monday and I'm on my way to the studio. So here I am in front of my studio. Oh, my windows. So here we are in the studio. I have like 3 bags on me. My camera bag, just wallet and phone and keys, and here I have some cool new things for the studio, which I'm going to show you in a second. So yes, I'm trying to keep these videos real. I forgot a part of my tripod, so I don't know if I can film later. But I have a newborn session with a little girl and I'm setting up. The parents have chosen pink, like salmon and off-white as their main color, so I'm gonna go with that. We're not gonna use this decor probably, but we can use this one, the dark one. This is more for like the family photos. It's like a structured one, like beige off-white. Here we have my flocati with the white panels in the back. Well, the changing table. So here I'm setting up the beanbag. I have my green wood here with the basket. So yeah, first I'm gonna throw on this backdrop, and then I'm gonna throw on like maybe this one on top, or this one, or this one. I don't know, one of these colors. Here we go. The setup for now. Heater. I'm gonna have my baby shisha right there, and then my softbox. I still have to put like my speed light in. Here we have daylight as well. Here I can just show you what I bought today. This. I don't know if it's fun for the boho themed cake smash. It was like €2 and I don't know, 79 cents. You can hang it in the background. I bought 2, so maybe I can hang them next to each other, and then you have the feathers coming down. And what I bought online are these strings. They're like eucalyptus leaves, that's what it said. They look more like olive branches, I don't know. I think it's nice. And then I'm gonna attach it to the other one. So yeah, if you're looking for secret storage space, it's right here. Behind my background. So yes, I have some time left, so I think I'm gonna just quickly share with you how I started my business. So I still have about 15 minutes before my newborn session starts, and I thought I would share with you how I started my business. I know many of you are also photographers. Some are just starting out, some have had many years of experience, and you want your business to grow and to develop, and that's very healthy and very natural. So maybe my story can help you to grow and develop your business, whether you're just starting out as a photographer or you have been photographing for many years. What I always want to say is that first start learning photography, studying photography. Know how to shoot in the manual mode, invest in a good camera, invest in good lenses. Don't start with newborns, but start with shooting photos of, I don't know, flowers and animals, and maybe adults or grown-up kids around you who wanna, you know, volunteer being a model for you. Don't start with newborns. When you wanna photograph newborns, attend workshops, really study and specialize in photographing newborns, so you know what you're doing, you're not hurting the baby in any way, and yeah, safety first, comfort of the baby comes first, but invest in education. So first study photography, and then specialize in an area of photography which really speaks to you and which fits with your personality, and which makes you happy. Make sure you have a good quality product to offer. Yeah, first you can start, you know, taking photos as a hobby, and then grow and develop and see, okay, the kind of photos I'm taking, would I be willing to pay for that? It's always a bit tricky when you ask people how much they would pay for your work, because you can feel very undervalued, because people might just think, okay, snapping a picture takes you literally 1 second, so why pay a lot of money for that? And they don't realize that There's so much time and energy and effort going into a perfect photo. You are a creative mastermind, you're the artist. They pay for you for your skills, your creativity. You pay for your equipment, the hours you put into studying, then taking the photo, editing, you know, setting up your decor, whatever. You buy your props, maybe you rent a place. So yeah, it's so much more than just taking the photo. Anyway, detour. How did I start? So I started off like 6 years ago, and I started taking photos of flowers. I bought beautiful flowers, placed them in our living room, and then practiced taking photos in the manual mode. So I played with my aperture, my shutter speed, my ISO to see what I liked, which effect I liked. I first took photos with a crop camera, but I didn't use the kit lens. I used the 50mm prime lens, 1.8 aperture. Not very expensive, but it gives you so many more options to be creative in your photos. I even bought shoes, like pumps, which could pass as wedding shoes, just to take photos of the shoes with some flowers, with rings, to see, you know, what can I do? I took photos of friends, of their pets. I took photos of family members. I didn't charge anything. I just wanted to practice. They knew I was practicing. I didn't start practicing taking photos of small babies or children because you shouldn't practice with them. They only have an attention span, like a toddler has an attention span of like 5 minutes. That's a lot actually. Attention span of a minute. So when they're looking at you smiling for that one split second, you want your photo to be good. And you don't want to, you know, mess with your settings and take photos and then, okay, it's way too dark. I have to, you know, crank up my ISO. Oh, shutter speed is too low, a very blurry photo. Yeah, you want that to be good when you're taking photos of toddlers so you can focus all your attention on getting the toddler's attention and getting them to smile. So my battery is dying. But yeah, I took photos outdoors. I didn't use flash, I used natural light. Then people approached me, will you take photos of our family or our kids? And can I pay you? And I was like, okay, people want to pay me money for the photos, that's great. So I started charging and I immediately registered my company. I determined prices, they were way too low. I offered a lot of digital files on a DVD, yes people, a DVD. And then I printed a label to put on the DVD. Looked very nice. I had like covers that I put in the DVD boxes to make it look nice. I made business cards. I got a website, a Facebook page, an email address, paid taxes. So I started off well. I took an insurance, very important. And every time I earned a little bit of money, I invested it in buying better equipment, background system, softbox. I used strobes for a little bit, like a reflector. I bought, like, as backgrounds, I bought pieces of fabric, I bought pieces of plastic tablecloths. I went to their homes to take photos. I went to parks, anywhere. Someone got married, a friend of mine, and she asked me to be her wedding photographer. So I was actually a guest, like her friend. She didn't want to invest in like an expensive photographer, but she asked if I could take some photos. Yes, I wanted to do that. So I got some wedding photos done. I invested in like courses and training, and I developed, but I was still working. I had a 32 hour. I worked 32 hours per week, so I worked 4 days as first a pricing specialist, and then as a account manager. I worked at Staples, like office supplies. It has nothing to do with photography. So I worked 4 days, and then the extra day I could schedule maybe 1 or 2 photo sessions, and then on Saturdays I could do 1 or 2 photo sessions. So yeah, I was busy editing as well in the evenings. We had our little daughter. It's quite busy, but I like to be busy, so that was okay. It gives me energy as well. And I just went from there. So every time I earned some money, I invested it in the business. I got a good computer, hard disk, memory cards, batteries. There's a lot going on. I just bought fabrics by the meter, whatever. I also got really interested in photographing babies and children because of my own daughter. She was my inspiration. When I was pregnant with her, I was looking for like a newborn photographer, and I didn't really find one in the area where I was living that offered like good quality photos. Well, hello, it's a new day, and I'm gonna continue talking today about how I started my business. And yeah, so today I have a cake smash session and a newborn session. So I don't know how far I'll get until the clients get here, because I just finished setting up for the cake smash. But I have an hour in between the cake smash and a newborn, so I might continue there, and I might show you some bits and pieces of the cake smash. So yeah, look how organized it all is now. I just tidied up a little bit. Play corner. But yeah, I have an empty cake stand right here because the mother is bringing her own cake. I might have like a floral crown for the daughter. New garland in the back, and I just added some roses. I have my one garland. My softbox is placed here. I have some daylight coming from this side. Not too much because it's not very bright outside today, but that's fine because the main light is coming from here. So this is the cake they just brought in. Very pretty. So yeah, how did I start my business? I first started off, you know, taking portrait photos of friends and families. After I started taking photos of flowers and shoes and rings and just random items, I photographed, you know, pets, and then I started photographing kids, but first adults and everything. Then I started photographing a wedding, and that's how I kind of got into my business. Then I specialized in baby and newborn photography. I got a first aid degree, like for babies and newborns. So I know what to do when a child is choking. I hope I will never have to actually use it and apply it in reality. Yeah, and these kind of courses you have to refresh once in a while. But yeah, so take it serious. You're working with kids, so you want to know what you're doing. Get good materials, clean materials. Yeah, I don't say you have to buy the most expensive stuff there is. I started off with my crop camera. I think it was a Nikon D3200, something like that. I earned some more money and I bought like a full frame camera and some other lenses. I first had this like now I have the 2070 lens, 2470 lens from Nikon, which is like over $2,000, I think. Like vibrant reduction, and but before that I had like a Tamron version, which was a lot cheaper. So it wasn't actually the 2470 lens, but it was like 2874 millimeter lens, but aperture 2.8. The only thing was that sometimes my photos weren't as sharp, as crisp, so I had to take like 5 shots and hope that one of them was sharp. Yeah, you don't want to charge a lot of money and then have photos which are not sharp. So make sure you know what you're doing, invest in good quality material. Anyway, so I was working 32 hours a week, and we had a lot of stuff in our living room. So in our living room I had this big IKEA boxes, like this like closet that consists of like boxes with like piles of blankets. I had a changing table with like stuff in there. I had I had a background system in the living room, and I think like a softbox or two, but I could like store them away. At some point I had like a wardrobe full of like outfits as well for like older kids and stuff. So sometimes I did sessions at clients' their homes, and sometimes I did it in my own living room. So then my husband and daughter, my daughter was like, I don't know, young at that point. I don't know, 7-8 months up to like a year and a half, I don't know. So we So they had to go upstairs because I was taking over the living room, and I had just people coming into my living room. So I would make coffee and tea in my own kitchen. They would sit on my couch, and then they said it was nice because it felt really homely. It was clean, and they could just watch while I photographed their kids, while I photographed their newborn in the living room. I had this big beanbag and everything. And then after the session finished, I just stored it all away against the wall, but it was still visible. It was still in the middle of my living room. So it was not an ideal situation. Then we moved house. We went to another house, and we were looking for a house which had a garage next to it, and like a separate entrance from the street into the garage, and then maybe a door from the garage to the living room. But it had to be like an extended garage, so a little bit bigger than just a basic garage. So we saw this house with like a big backyard and like a garage next to the house. It had like wooden doors, but it was made as a storage unit. So there was a door from the garage to the living room, but it was all bricks, the wall. It was not very well isolated, and they just used it to keep their groceries and everything. So the car wasn't parked in there, but it was still pretty much a garage. It was a little bit longer. I think it was like 7.5 meters long, maybe 8 meters long, and then about 3 meters wide. So not too big. And we actually took out the front wall and the back wall kind of, and we placed like windows in there. So the walls were made white and very smooth, well isolated. We placed another ceiling into the garage with like beautiful lights, and I have beautiful windows facing the north from the, you know, the ground to the ceiling, big windows, doors on both sides. So a lot of daylight coming in, good light coming in. So I have my beanbag right next to the window with like sheer curtains, like white sheer curtains. So the light was diffused and was very soft and just perfect for a newborn session. The only thing was that it was a little bit small, but I still had like a couch in there, a little coffee table. I could have like my background system and then another background system with the beanbag in front of it. No, I think it was just like a background system with the beanbag in front of it. And then I removed the beanbag and I used the background system for like props. And then I used the same background system for the family photos. So I had to like sometimes kick out the beanbag into the living room to make some space, especially when I was photographing newborns with their brothers and sisters. Like I would ask the parents if they could come like the last 45 minutes, because I did have a little play area, but it was so tiny. Because, you know, there were props in there, and then a changing table and a couch and a coffee table and the beanbag and a background system, and it was very full. That was actually before I started renting this studio, and I have now turned it into a playroom. So a lot of toys from the kids are in there. I can always turn it into my office. So the kids have their, you know, play stuff. I'll show you around. So it's a nice space that you have, and yeah, if we ever sell this house, we can sell it as like an office space right next to the house. And it's nice because I could put my logo on the windows, and when the parents would pull up in the street and they would park their car in front of our home, like they could see that the studio was right next to home. I would always put it in my emails, yeah, don't go to the front door, but right next to it there's a door that goes to the studio. So sometimes they wouldn't enter our home, but sometimes they did, because they had to use the bathroom, and they didn't have a bathroom in my studio area. So they actually had to walk through the living room to go to the bathroom. I didn't really like that as much. Of course, I made sure that the living room was always spotless, very organized. But yeah, if my kids, I don't know, whoever was babysitting, were in the living room, and like clients would pass through the living room to use the bathroom, it can be a little bit stressful for the kids as well, because especially when my son was like 7-8 months old, he would see me enter the living room, make coffee and tea for my clients would pass through the living room, go to the bathroom, come back. Maybe siblings of newborns or like little kids would go through the living room, go back to the studio area. He would see me, he would be like, "Mommy," and then I would leave again because I was right next door. He could hear me talk, he could hear me sing songs whenever I would photograph a cake smash session in there. And then he just wanted to enter into the studio and be with me, but he couldn't because I was working. So So yeah, we didn't have any pet, like I didn't want to have pets in the living room, because then whenever people would like enter through the living room and they would be scared of, you know, dogs, or maybe allergic, they could smell the dog maybe in the studio area. I didn't like that. So right now we're renting this studio space, which means that we can get a dog. So now I'm renting this studio. So actually I quit my job when I was pregnant with our son. I just thought it was time to just focus on photography. I had so many inquiries that I couldn't even book them all, so I had to, I don't know, decline half of them and forward the clients to other photographers, because I was fully booked, because I was still working and I had a little girl at home. So you know, I was, at some point I was working, I don't know, I did 6-7 shoots a week, and I was still working 32 hours. So I did shoots, you know, on Wednesdays, that was my off day, and then on Saturdays and Sundays, and I was editing the shoots in the evenings, and I don't know, designing flyers, promoting myself, answering all my emails, I don't know, putting photos on my webpage, on Facebook, on Instagram. So I was doing a lot. Then I thought, you know, I have so many inquiries, I can just quit my job, do a few more photo sessions per week, earn the same amount of money at the end of the month, and enjoy my life, enjoy my kids. So that's what I did. So now I'm renting this place, and it is gorgeous and I love it. I have, like, I was looking at so many studio spaces before I found this one, because I wanted to have perfect light. I was very picky, because I wanted to have like parking spaces in front of the door, so that when women are still recovering from like a C-section or just their delivery, they could just get out of their car, enter into the studio, chill in one of my comfy chairs and just watch while I photograph their baby. I needed, you know, space, a kitchen, toilet, place to nurse, you know, a little play area. I wanted to have like 3 or 4 sets ready, so that I can just go from one set to the next, which happened, because I have right now 5 sets ready. My newborn area, I got the Flocati with the white panels, I got my background system, I got the dark wood, and then I got another background system with another background on there. I have windows facing the north, which means here that I don't get direct sunlight into the studio ever, pretty much. Maybe like at 5 in the morning, but then I'm not here, and then I don't know, 8 at night and I'm not here either. So yeah, I have maternity gowns, I have sitter session outfits, I have like posters on the wall, I have a table here with chairs, and you know, even a high chair for the siblings to come. I love this space, but I grew. So I started off going to people their homes, then in my own living room, then in the garage, and now I'm renting a studio. And I didn't just start with newborn photography. I started with, you know, shooting objects, and then adults and teenagers and kids, and events and birthday parties and baby showers and bachelor parties and weddings. I did everything just to get good at what I was doing, working with different light situations, being creative with backgrounds, with props and everything. And then I specialized in baby and newborn photography. Yeah, you're never too old to learn, so I'm still attending workshops and learning and developing and making sure that I know what I'm doing, and loving it. So yeah, I really hope you enjoyed this video. Please like, subscribe, and leave a comment. I'll see you in the comments, please. It would be so cool, and then you'll see me in my next video. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe for adorable puppy, how to photograph your puppy, how to photograph your dog videos. Just gorgeous golden retriever footage. Just subscribe, and then make sure you hit the notification bell, so that you actually get the notifications whenever I upload, because I don't really have like a set upload schedule. I just do it whenever I finish a video, because I do, I don't know, 10-15 sessions a week, and sometimes weddings, so it's a little bit busy, and then I have 2 kids at home. So yeah, that's it, I guess, for now. And thank you so much for watching. Bye bye.